The Appiah Kubi at this point, because you see, as representatives of the people, obviously, for the minority and led by the ranking on the Finance Committee, the Honorable Isaac Adongo, making the demand that Parliament should at least be furnished with a full report, so that you would also be clothed with the details to know exactly what KPMG found and what has to be done going forward. Because you also made demands for the termination of this contract, which eventually was done.
When you say you,
I mean, I'm talking about your other colleagues on the other side. The
minority.
The minority.
Good.
So do you support that call for the release of the full report, at least for all to see?
Whether there was a call or not, reports are meant to be served on interested parties. And therefore, it does not take somebody to call for the reports to be published. The reports are done for the country Ghana. And if we are interested in knowing what is there, why not? So for me, the call is appropriate. Publish it. In fact, we spend public finance to get such reports, organized. And when they come and stay on shelves, what benefit will we have? For nothing at all. For education that we will get from it. Those of us, we will be able to, in future, refer to some of the deliverables. So it's important that it is published. I'm not sure that anybody is trying to shelve it. I'm not sure. I'm not aware of that. And indeed, once the president acted upon the national cry that, it must be subject to some audit, and the audit has come, for me, all the information leading up to the commission of the audit are not relevant to me. If we know that KPMG is qualified and adequately resourced to be able to undertake that assignment, otherwise we should have criticized the president's appointment at that time, but we didn't. So now my understanding is that KPMG has finished its work and has published it. So be it as it has been, I think we must begin to interrogate the report of the KPMG to see whether we can find some mishaps within the report and deal with it. President has accepted, and President has accepted even the recommendations of the report. And for me, it is at that point that we need to make inputs into it. And I asked three basic questions. The first question is, was there a need for that services? Was there a need? Did we have any shortages in the supply chain, the downstream? Pursuant to the engagement of, the other point is that were they procured legally? That's another question. If they were, that's one thing. And beyond that, the report or the assessment of their performance, did they bring us any revenue advantages? If there are, then the final question, was that engagement justified? I mean, if we attempt to answer these four questions. But I'll start with whether or not there was a need. And indeed, I will not even refer to either KPMG or the response of SML or the president's comment. I have the privilege of seeing a report from Ernst & Young in respect of same services. And trust me, yesterday I almost cried when I got hold of this report from Ernst & Young. And Ernst & Young's report is saying 2020, January, you see, ERDMS figure was 180,356,650. Out of that, GRA captured only 7 million. Only 7 million. And the implication is that when you capture, it is that which GRA captures that duties are paid on.
Subject to tax.
Subject to tax.
The rest,
so the rest gone. Ghana loses. And if I mention, out of the 180 million plus, Ghana lost revenue on 173 million plus.
Which year is this?
2020, January 2020. Ghana lost. Again, if...
does this precede the period?
No, let me go to February.
Yeah.
The February one is 185 million 913 and it was only 17,293,000 that was captured under GRA for tax purposes. And so the February of 2020 we lost revenue on 168,620,000 and more. We lost as a country. Now we go to March. March, the value was 193,311,000, and GRA captured 62,199,000, meaning we lost also on 131 million revenue on 131 million. And so also, let me conclude with the April one. The April one was 168, and GRA was able to capture 166 million. That was impressive. So we lost 1,426,000. You see, so if you look at all this, who are beneficiaries of the revenue that should have accrued to the state? There is a system, there is a group of people who are interested in this money, ought to have been paid to government. It doesn't come to government. Where is that money? But again, after all, what I am unhappy about is that the report doesn't recommend how to retrieve all those lost revenue. That's my pain. Because I expected KPMG to have concluded that, well, if within a certain time we lost so much, how do we retrieve that money?
That is if their mandate covered.
Yes, but obviously, what is the essence of the investigation? If the investigation will only bring us results and not touch on what is critical, the money that is lost. So why did we even constitute that investigation? So in trying to link this to the need for the services,
well,
if we are losing this much, so do we have to continue? And indeed, all these state institutions that you are mentioning have been present when we are losing so much. So do we have to continue to lose it? Now, I went to US.
We understand SML says it is not doing the under declaration that Ernst & Young identified.
Yes.
SML is not checking that.
I am pointing that to the fact that there is a need for an audit. I'm trying to establish that if these things are gone, and even if SML is not doing that, and so because SML didn't do this, do we allow it to go?
Some of them, they are linked to politicians.
No, I don't know.
They are linked. I know one case. They are politicians, some MPs and ministers.
Even if it's linked to me, even if it is linked to me.
I know at least one case.
Listen. Even if it is linked to me, is it a justification to allow it to go?
No, certainly not. But I'm just saying why they are not acting.
Well, we have opportunity to talk about it. So I'm talking about it, and I want to share a very painful experience that I had leading a delegation to US and 3 years or 4 years ago. The man told me that Ghanaians, you don't even know the value of your natural resource deposits. You don't know it. And he told me that if people come in with application for exploration, we approve for them to go and explore and come and tell us what we have. You see, for you to go into contract, not knowing what you are contracting on, for your contracting party to tell you what you have in your hands that you are giving to him, that is the beginning of the danger.
Whether what he's told you is true.
Whether what he's telling you is the truth or not, you go on and just work with his figures. And in most cases, when these people come and secure prospective licenses, they not only under declare, my brother, they go into mining rather than prospecting. And And therefore, by the time you are aware, about extraction is done, and the huge part of it is gone already. Before you come and sit down with him and be talking figures. Figures manufactured by himself, by your contracting party. So for me, the whole natural resource area in Ghana is a joke. We need to rethink and relook at it. So for me, if you are going to the market, you don't know what you are going to sell, and you ask the purchaser to tell you what is in your hand selling to him, what do you expect? They'll take advantage of you. So it is critical that we have some audit of a kind, not only the audit of that which is being discharged, but the audit of that which we have. And we must do that consistently. And when we have known what we have, then we can leverage that against that which is being extracted day by day. And therefore, for me, coming to the conclusion whether or not such audit services are necessary, I say a big yes, they are.
Well, that's what the president.
And I want to even extend
on KPMG report also.
I want to even extend it to cover that which Ernst & Young covered, so that the whole continuum will be subject to audit. So for me, it is necessary in the presence of all these state institutions mandated to undertake the same assignment, having not done adequately in these areas, I would say yes, we need such audit services.
Well, this is what...
Now, let me go on to the method of procurement. For any reason, if procurement defaults occurred in the contracting, who do you blame?
Who do you blame?
I will blame the state.
You mean?
I will not blame any contracting party. If I'm coming to contract with you, do I have to take care of you?
Wait. So in this instance,
yes,
this is who? The finance
when the whole machinery of government is there,
the finance
and I am coming as a private individual, private person, coming to negotiate with you, coming to contract with you, you want to invest in me the burden of your negligence. How will you
so the finance ministry or the GRA should be asking questions?
When you go to court on a criminal charge, and Martin will tell you, the state, with the whole apparatus of the state, if you are not able to prosecute Nelson, my friend Nelson will go scot-free. He may at times not need to even open a defense. So a private entity has come into Ghana and says that I can give you these services, and I have the capacity to do A, B, C, D, and I want to contract with you. And you, as a country, nation, you have your laws on procurement, and you will throw away the procurement laws and go into contract with me, and I sign, and you sign,
and you come and blame me,
and you come and blame him as the private entity. Please find a place for your blame. It's not him. And if I was a lawyer for the company, I wouldn't carry a burden of, understanding even your procurement laws. Once I put my proposals before you and you agree to them, please.
Oh, how?
Why should I?
You also go to jail. But if they are prosecuting procurement, you are also part of it.
He is part of it as what? He has brought his proposals to you. And you...
Look at the court and financial forcing. Is he not in court with all the other people who were?
Well, they are in court in different capacities, but not as accused persons.
The company's is Japan not for the company?
The fact that you take me to court,
the private businessman is before court.
If the fact that you take me to court erroneously doesn't mean that I carry any guilt.
So are you saying?
So I come to you as a contracting party. I bring you a proposal. As a business person, I want to do this is for you. It is for you to investigate my proposal and reconcile with the existing laws so that you will go through the laws in attempting to procure. But if you neglect the warnings under the law and you come into contract with me and you go to court, what the court understands is the relationship between the two parties, and it is situated within the contract.
Okay, so who bears the
burden?
Yes.
Let's give a quick answer so that you see. Listen, the ambulance is inside.
You ask a question, gentlemen.
When you have your time, you come. So I don't see anything wrong that the company has done. If there were procurement breaches, I'll lay it at the doorstep of GRA, not the company. Now, the next question is whether or not, as a result of their intervention, we have made some savings. And President, in his report, indeed, I'm not going into Manasseh, I'm not going into NPA, because I understand it better than that. And I decided to pick this independent, report. President has acknowledged that out of the intervention of the institution, we have made some savings. Unless anybody comes to tell us that we got zero revenue returns, then I will say that that service has not produced anything. So, once it has produced something, and indeed, let me probably end with the recommendations, that they are even saying that the upstream services are even necessary based on the performance of the downstream. That is, terminate doesn't mean cancel. Terminate doesn't mean cancel. And termination connotes termination. Listen, and termination also connotes going through the law, going through the contract to terminate. It is not by your whims. Just coming out and say, I terminate. No. You have a contract on the table, and you have laws governing the contract also. So if you may means you may either or you may not. Yes. So if you decide to take the course of termination, then you follow the consequences.
Yeah. Okay.
If you decide that, in the light of the circumstances, we will continue with the contract, then it's another decision that is situated in the recommendations. But again, one thing that I want to also encourage is that the local content input in this arrangement. In Ghana, we are too comfortable criticizing our own, and we want to invite.
You are saying what?
If it had been when Blue Sky, so when the foreign company was doing, we had nothing wrong with it.
If it had been,
there
was McKinsey.
Yes, the statement that you made, which
let me then you come out with the statement.
The president did not say that the savings have been made. It's a KPMG. He's quoting the KPMG report. Mm-hmm. The third point, which is captured in the president's statement, because you and I haven't seen the KPMG report, says there's a clear need for downstream petroleum audit services provided by SML. GRA and the state, have benefited from these services.
The man you are crucifying.
SML commended. I'm coming to a point. You see, if the report says revenue increase within the period, this revenue is the tax on the fuel we buy at the pumps. We need to distinguish that. So if we buy more fuel this year,
Albert, from what you are reading,
how does that go?
Albert, from what you are reading, the preamble,
SML,
the preamble to your conclusion.
I'm coming. Let Appiah Kubi answer. Yes.
Okay. The preamble to your conclusion is evaluating the services of SML, and he's saying that based on that performance, you have read it now. There is the need for us to go into the upstream. That is, provide similar services. Is he not conclusively saying that I approve of the contract? That is exactly what President appears to be saying. And for me, I was talking about the local content. You see, we have to be careful that everything that comes from beyond our borders is good. It's good. Anything that comes from Ghana is bad. There is that presumption so that the eyes that we take into investigations are always tainted with an expectation of wrongdoing. And for me, let's look at it I asked critical 4-5 questions, and I'm attempting to answer all of them. And in fact, based on the reading from my host, I want to conclude that it is necessary that we do audit not only on the downstream but also on the upstream.
Okay.
And therefore, this service that has provided, so the assurance for the president to make such pronouncement ought to be applied to the upstream also. And therefore, for me personally, even the local content and the technology transfer that has come to Ghanaians, we must exploit it. And again, I started by talking about the inadequacy in evaluating our natural resource endowment.
Okay.
So well, we must even go there and find out. So again, I can go to the marketplace and say that I have lithium of this quantity, and comparative to world prices, this is how I want to sell my lithium. Instead of somebody coming to me and telling me you have lithium in Sopong and your lithium is so much, and I'll offer you this amount of money for your lithium. Oh, bless my soul. Praise God. At least somebody has come to buy my lithium. You are not aware, but for nothing at all.
Okay. Let me show you.
I have read the lithium contract, and I want to commend the minister because it is so far the best contract in natural resources.
Things that's for the lithium matter. You are bringing them, and you if you say it's the best so far, that's your own view.
No. In comparison with other natural resource contracts,
other areas.
You've been playing on my emotional keyboard.
No, Prof.
It's okay. You made your point.
One sentence. Let me. One sentence. I'm saying that it is the best in comparison with existing natural resource contracts.